Okay, I just arrived in Samudera Pasai around the year 1345, and I was expecting something much quieter than this. There are boats, cargo, workers, and wooden buildings all along the water. The first thing I notice is that almost everything here follows the river. The houses are raised, the platforms connect to boats, and goods move directly from the water. This does not feel like a small, forgotten settlement. It feels like a working port city. Look at the clothing. Some people are clearly boat workers, some are merchants, and some carry records. You can already see different roles just from the fabric, headcloths, and objects they carry. Meanwhile, I'm trying very hard to look like I belong here. Okay, this looks like the main harbor, and the ships suddenly become much larger. Small local boats are unloading right beside vessels built for long-distance travel. This is the moment Pasai starts feeling much bigger than a local kingdom. These ships do not all come from the same maritime tradition. The hull shapes, sails, rigging, and even the way cargo is stored look different. It feels like several parts of Asia have arrived at the same wooden tier. Some of those ships are not preparing to leave today. They are waiting for the right seasonal wind, which could keep travelers here for weeks. So medieval international travel comes with a very unpredictable departure time. Guys, I could smell this lane before I even reached it. There are baskets of pepper, tide sacks, measuring containers, and store platforms everywhere. This is not a small market stall. This is an entire trade system built around one tiny spice. The smell is pepper, damp wood, river water, rope, and warm storage cloth. It is much sharper than I expected, especially this close. But honestly, smells like this make the past feel real in a way books never can. I'm starting to understand why pepper matters so much here. Moving this amount requires growers, boats, storage, porters, measurements, and buyers. The spice is small, but the economy around it is enormous. Okay, before the pepper moves again, it has to pass through this shelter. They are checking the weight, the container, and probably the condition of the goods. A port this busy cannot survive if everyone uses a different measurement. Wait, that man has been checking records while the cargo moves past him. It looks like the goods are being counted after they're weighed. I want to ask him how much of this port actually depends on writing. Does every basket and bundle coming through this port have to be recorded?
The weight, the owner, the goods, and their destination must all be clear.
Okay, so Pasai is not only moving cargo, it is managing information. This is the part of history people usually do not imagine. Behind every impressive ship, someone is counting, checking, recording, and organizing. The harbor looks chaotic from outside, but there is a very careful system underneath it. Okay, these gold coins are much smaller than I expected. They are tiny, carefully weighed, and apparently valuable enough for major transactions. I would be terrified of dropping one between these floorboards. The coin is valuable because of the gold, but also because people trust its weight. Merchants arriving from far away need a value they can recognize and verify. So even this tiny coin is helping strangers do business with confidence. These ceramics definitely did not from a village nearby. The shapes, surfaces, and colors look completely different from the local pottery. Every bowl here is evidence that Pasai is connected to a much longer route. There are imported textiles, beads, metal objects, ceramics, and goods from Sumatran forests. History usually shows trade routes as lines drawn on a map. Here, those lines have become real objects sitting beside each other. When the wind keeps travelers here for weeks, they do more than wait. They eat here, pray here, exchange stories, learn languages, and build relationships. The monsoon is not only moving ships, it is creating communities. This seems to be where visiting merchants live while their ships are waiting. There are travel chests, sleeping mats, storage rooms, cooking areas, and cargo everywhere. Some people probably stay long enough for this to feel like a second home. Only a short walk from the merchant quarter, the atmosphere changes completely. The harbor is still nearby, but everything here feels slower and more focused. Religion is not separated from port life. it is built directly into it. What I love is that this building feels completely Islamic and completely Sumatran. It uses timber, raised floors, open air, deep shade, and a roof designed for tropical rain. The faith traveled across the ocean, but the architecture adapted to this place. Okay, this is happening surprisingly close to the warehouses and harbor. People here are studying religion, writing, law, and probably question brought by travelers. The port moves goods, but this pillion is moving knowledge. A trading kingdom needs more than sailors, ships, and valuable cargo. It needs people who can read agreements, understand rules, write messages, and settle questions. Literacy is not just education here, it is part of the infrastructure. Now I'm following the road away from the busiest part of the port. The river traffic is fading, and the movement ahead looks more controlled and formal. I think I'm getting closer to the royal city, so I'm going to act like I know where I'm going. Okay, this is much more serious than the open harbor district. The walls, gate, platforms, and controlled entrance are all built from timber. It does not need stone to feel organized, protected, and important. The difference is immediate. Everything inside feels much quieter and more controlled. There are receiving tables, record bundles, storage chests, and entire spaces prepared for messages and visitors. This feels less like a palace street and more like the control center of the port. This is where everything I saw at the harbor seems to come together. Ship arrivals, cargo, foreign visitors, messages, payments, and disputes all create information. And inside this pavilion, that information becomes royal decisions. Wait, that traveler definitely did not begin his journey anywhere near Sumatra. His clothing, traveling equipment, and the way attendants receive him all feel different. I think this may be the Maghribi traveler people will later know as Ibn Battuta. After traveling so far, what does Samudera Pasai feel like to you?
It is a door between the Indian Ocean and the seas that lead farther east.
That might be the most accurate description of this entire kingdom. He has traveled through places most people here will only hear about in stories, and now he is standing in Sumatra, waiting for a route that continues toward China. That tells you exactly how connected Pasai already is in the 14th century. At first, I thought I was visiting a remote kingdom at the edge of the medieval world. But everything I saw today points in the opposite direction. Samudera Pasai was not sitting at the edge. It was standing at a crossroads. Today I saw ships, pepper, gold, writing, faith, travelers, and royal administration connected by one port. That connections is what made Samudera Pasai powerful. Saya Sora, sampai jumpa di abi yang lain.